United Nations. As Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine is about to move into its 20th month, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has stressed his country isn't interested in a large-scale war, in remarks to United Nations representatives on Saturday. "It is entirely up to us how history will play out," he told the general debate of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, taking place in New York this week. "It is in our shared interest to prevent a downward spiral into large-scale war and to prevent the final collapse of the mechanisms for international cooperation," Lavrov said, without explicitly naming Moscow's war in Ukraine, launched February 24, 2022. He also did not directly refer to fears that the conflict might lead to a nuclear confrontation. The ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine has already come at a great cost for the armies of both sides, and the civilian population across Ukraine lives with the constant fear of Russian airstrikes. Millions of Ukrainian refugees have fled to safety throughout Europe. So far, all attempts to mediate in the conflict have failed. Ukrainian forces are currently engaged in a counteroffensive to retake Russian-occupied territory in the south and east of the country. Later, Lavrov branded proposals by UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to revive the deal designed to facilitate Ukrainian exports via the Black Sea despite the ongoing Russian invasion as simply not realistic. "We don't reject them. They're simply not realistic," Lavrov said in his address. "They cannot be implemented in and of themselves," Lavrov told UN delegates in New York. The UN and Turkey negotiated an international agreement to enable Ukrainian agricultural exports to reach world markets from 3 ports, but Moscow refused to extend the deal in July. The original deal included an agreement with Russia to facilitate the export of Russian food and fertilizer products, though Moscow repeatedly complained this part of the deal was not honored, something that Lavrov stressed again in his speech on Saturday. A few weeks ago, Guterres was trying to make concessions to revive the deal, suggesting in a letter to Lavrov that Moscow could be reconnected to the international payments system SWIFT with the creation of a subsidiary of the Russian Agricultural Bank for certain payments. Guterres' letter also discussed unfreezing frozen assets of fertilizer companies in Europe and allowing Russian ships to enter European ports. Lavrov's address to the UN General Assembly comes at the tail end of the general debate, which kicked off last Tuesday and is set to end on Tuesday, September 26, following a break on Sunday and Monday. Overall, more than 140 heads of state and government will give speeches at the General Assembly's high-level debate. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressed the meeting on Tuesday, when he tried to solidify support for his country, warning the leaders gathered in New York that Russia poses a threat to the world.